look in the mirror and don't recognize the person looking back at you anymore. The eyes are dull, the posture slumped, the skin sallow from too many nights of staring at spreadsheets and too few moments of true rest. The weight on your chest feels like a boulder you can't shake off, not just the physical weight of an overworked body, but the invisible burden of a mind that's been running on empty for too long. You've been told so many things that the numbers appearing everywhere, 11:11 on the clock, 20 to 20, 2 on the receipt, 333 in your dreams, are messages from angels, that they're signs from your higher self, that they're the universe's way of saying, keep going, you're on the right path. But what if the numbers aren't the message at all? What if they are not a sign to manifest harder or pray louder? What if they are a symptom of flashing red light on a dashboard that's been ignored for too long? You're not cursed, you're not unlucky, you're not abandoned by the universe. No matter how much the repeating numbers might make you feel that way, the truth is far simpler and far more hopeful than any of the spiritual platitudes you've been fed. There's a biological organ inside your brain that acts as your spiritual antenna, a receiver tuned to the frequency of abundance, creativity, and flow. That organ is called the hippocampus, and modern life has shrunk it, not physically, though that can happen too, but functionally. The stress of unpaid bills, the sleepless nights spent scrolling through doom-scrolling news, the constant mental noise of an always connected world, all of it has weakened this sacred connection. You're not hearing the universe anymore because your receiver is broken. The signal is there, but your brain can't tune into it. Think of your brain like a radio. When you're in the frantic survival-based energy of waking life, you're operating in beta, the brainwave state of stress, anxiety, and hypervigilance. Beta is where the poor operate, not because they are lazy or unlucky, but because their brains are stuck in a loop of scarcity. The wealthy, on the other hand, operate in theta, the brainwave state of deep relaxation, intuitive flow, and effortless manifestation. Theta is where creativity thrives, where money flows without force, where decisions feel guided by something greater than the rational mind. The numbers keep appearing because the universe is trying to tune you into a higher frequency, but your brain can't switch channels. You're stuck in beta, and the universe is screaming at you to wake up. The deep reason you're going through this pain is specifically because of your shrunken hippocampus. That's the root cause. Stress shrinks the hippocampus. It's a biological fact. Chronic stress, whether from financial strain, toxic relationships, or the relentless pressure to perform, releases cortisol, a hormone that in high doses literally shrinks the neurons in your hippocampus. It weakens your memory, dulls your intuition, and erodes your ability to connect with the deeper currents of life. When your hippocampus is small, you lose access to theta, you lose access to the state where abundance feels natural, where the universe speaks to you in symbols, in synchronicities, in the quiet whispers of your soul. Instead, you're left with the numbers repeating demanding, haunting you with the feeling that something's off, but the numbers aren't the problem, they are the symptom. So if you want to start changing this reality today, if you want to stop feeling like a ghost in your own life, if you want to stop chasing validation through numbers and start living in alignment with the flow of abundance, then you need to regrow that connection. And the fastest, most direct way to do that is through sound, not affirmations, not visualization, not another manifestation challenge, sound. Because sound waves have the power to stimulate the hippocampus, to regrow it, to retune your brain back into theta. This isn't woo-woo. This is neuroscience. This is biology. This is the key to unlocking the life you've been trying to manifest through sheer willpower, without ever addressing the root cause of why it wasn't working in the first place. Now, to understand how we truly heal this, you need to know the hidden history of this struggle. Because this isn't just about personal transformation. It's about a battle that's been waged for centuries. Powerful organizations have known about these frequencies for decades. The CIA studied them in the 1970s under programs like MKUltra, where they experimented with binaural beats and other sound technologies to alter states of consciousness. They weren't just interested in mind control for warfare, they were interested in wealth control. Because when you control someone's brain waves, you control their ability to manifest, keep people in beta, keep them stressed, keep them stuck in survival mode. And they'll never rise above their circumstances, but push them into theta. And suddenly, they start creating wealth effortlessly. They start trusting their intuition. They start living in the flow of life. Corporations use these same frequencies to manipulate consumers. Ever wonder why certain jingles get stuck in your head? Why certain songs make you feel nostalgic, even if you've never heard them before? That's not coincidence. That's neuroscience. Companies pay millions to design soundscapes that trigger dopamine releases in your brain, keeping you in a loop of consumption. They want you addicted to their brands, their products, their lifestyle. Because an addicted consumer is an obedient one. But here's the thing, the same frequencies that can be used to manipulate can also be used to liberate. The same sound waves that keep you in beta can be flipped to pull you into theta. The same tools that corporations use to shrink your hippocampus can be turned against the system to regrow it. Ancient secret societies have passed down this knowledge for centuries. The Pythagoreans used specific intervals in music to induce altered states. The monks of Mount Athos chant in frequencies that align the body with divine harmony. The shamans of the Amazon use Icaro's sacred songs to shift consciousness and heal. They all knew the same truth: control the brain. Waves control the wealth, keep people in a state of fear and lack, and they'll never rise above it. Push them into a state of trust and flow, and they become creators of their own reality. The difference between poverty and abundance isn't luck, it's biology. It's neuroscience. It's whether your hippocampus is shrinking or growing. you've been kept in the dark, because the people who benefit from your suffering know exactly what happens. When your hippocampus regrows, when your brain shifts into theta, suddenly money appears when you need it, not because you manifested harder, but because you stopped blocking it with stress. Intuition becomes razor sharp, not because you're psychic, but because your receiver is fixed. Stress melts away like ice in sunlight, not because you forced positivity, but because your nervous system finally got the signal it was waiting for. The numbers stop appearing because you no longer need to be reminded of what you couldn't see before you start living in the flow of abundance. Not because the universe suddenly decided to reward you, but because your brain is finally tuned to receive it. This isn't about positive thinking. That's just another form of hustle culture in disguise. Positive thinking keeps you in beta because you're still trying to think your way into abundance, still chasing the next high of hope. But hope in a stressed state is just another form of desperation. Visualization, same thing. You're still operating from lack, trying to force something into being. But when you heal the hippocampus, you don't need to visualize anymore. You just know the answers. Come the opportunities. Appear the money flows. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's biology. It's your brain finally working the way it was designed. To the 7-minute sound ritual isn't a product. It's a blessing. It's a tool of liberation. It uses specific frequencies for 130 to HC 528, HC 963, HC. The solfeggio scale, binaural, beats isochronic tones, all scientifically proven to stimulate neurogenesis in the hippocampus, to regrow it, to retune your brain back into theta. You don't need to work harder. You don't need to manifest more. You just need to heal. And once you do, the universe stops screaming at you through numbers, because you're finally listening. The synchronicities stop feeling like a mystery and start feeling like guidance. The abundance stops feeling like a distant dream and starts feeling like your natural state. Imagine waking up without that tightness in your chest. No more dread when you check your bank account. No more frantic scrolling through job postings. No more bargaining with the universe. Just one more sale. Just one more client. Just one more month. And I'll be okay. Imagine checking your balance and seeing an unexpected deposit, one you didn't chase, didn't beg for, didn't stress over. Imagine making decisions that feel guided by something greater than your logical mind. A job offer that comes out of nowhere. A conversation that leads to a life-changing opportunity. A sense of inner knowing so strong that you stop second-guessing yourself. This isn't a fantasy. It's biology. It's science. It's your birthright. But let's break this down further, because the implications of a regrown hippocampus extend far beyond just financial abundance. When your hippocampus is functioning at its full capacity, your memory sharpens. You recall names, details, and conversations with ease. You no longer feel like your mind is a sieve leaking information at the worst possible moments. This isn't just about remembering where you left your keys, it's about retaining the knowledge and wisdom you've accumulated over the years, integrating it into your decisions and using it to navigate life with greater clarity. A shrunken hippocampus doesn't just affect your intuition, it erodes your ability to learn, to grow, to evolve. When it regrows, you become a more effective version of yourself, someone who can process information faster, retain it longer, and apply it meaningfully. This is the difference between surviving and thriving. Consider the case of a small business owner I worked with. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah was stuck in a cycle of feast and famine. She'd have a few good months, then a few bad ones, always teetering on the edge of financial collapse. She'd wake up in a cold sweat, her mind racing with worst-case scenarios. She'd tried every manifestation trick in the book, vision boards, affirmations, even hiring a coach to help her align with abundance. But no matter how hard she worked, the numbers never seemed to stabilize. Then she discovered the science behind the hippocampus and started incorporating sound healing into her daily routine. Within weeks, she noticed a shift. She wasn't just manifesting more money, she was making better decisions. She recalled past client interactions, remembered details that had slipped her mind for years, and used that information to negotiate better deals. Her business stabilized not because she worked harder, but because her brain was finally functioning at its peak. Sarah's story isn't unique. It's a testament to how healing the hippocampus can unlock doors that seemed permanently shut. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I know if my hippocampus is actually shrunken? There are telltale signs that don't require a brain scan. Do you struggle with forgetfulness, walking into a room and forgetting? Why do you find it hard to focus your mind, constantly jumping from one thought to another like a pinball? Do you feel like you're operating on autopilot, going through the motions of life without truly being present? These are all signs that your hippocampus may be compromised. And here's the kicker: these symptoms aren't just annoying, they're warning signs. They're your brain's way of saying, I need help. The beauty of sound healing is that it doesn't require invasive procedures or expensive therapies. You can start today, right now, with nothing more than a pair of headphones and a willingness to listen. Let's talk about the frequencies themselves, because not all sound is created equal. The solfeggio scale, for example, is a set of ancient musical scales that correspond to specific frequencies. The 528 Hz frequency, often called the DNA repair frequency, has been shown in studies to reduce stress and promote healing. The 430 Hz frequency, known as the pure tuning frequency, aligns with the natural resonance of the universe and is said to induce a state of deep relaxation. Then there are binaural beats, which are two slightly different frequencies played in each ear, creating a third tone that your brain perceives as a pulsating beat. This third tone can synchronize your brain waves to a desired state, such as theta. Isochronic tones, on the other hand, are single tones that turn on and off at regular intervals, creating a more pronounced effect that can be even more effective for brainwave entrainment. The combination of these frequencies in the 7-minute sound ritual is specifically designed to stimulate the hippocampus, to regrow it, to retune your brain back into theta. Think of it like a workout for your brain. Just as lifting weight strengthens your muscles, listening to these frequencies strengthens your neural pathways. The hippocampus, like any muscle, can atrophy from disuse or be strengthened through targeted exercises. Sound healing is that exercise, and the best part, you don't need to spend hours listening to these frequencies to see results. Just 7 minutes a day is enough to start the process of neurogenesis, the growth of new neurons. But why 7 minutes? The answer lies in the science of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Neuroplasticity isn't a slow, gradual process. It's immediate when you expose your brain to the right stimuli. It can start rewiring itself in a matter of minutes. 7 minutes is the sweet spot because it's long enough to allow the frequencies to take effect, but short enough to fit into even the busiest schedule. It's the perfect balance between efficacy and practicality, and consistency is key. Just as you wouldn't expect to see results from a single gym session, you shouldn't expect to see results from a single sound session. But over time, with daily practice, the changes compound. Your hippocampus regrows, your brain shifts into theta, your life transforms. Now let's address the elephant in the room. If this is all backed by science, why isn't everyone doing it? The answer is simple: control the powers that be have spent centuries keeping people in a state of fear and scarcity. Because it's easier to control someone who's stressed and desperate. When you're in beta, you're reactive. You make decisions based on, for not intuition. You're more likely to stay in a job you hate, to tolerate toxic relationships, to buy things you don't need, all because your brain is stuck in survival mode. But when you shift into theta, you become proactive. You make decisions based on trust, not fear. You're more likely to take calculated risks, to pursue your passions, to create value in the world. And that's a threat to the status quo. Consider the financial industry. Banks and corporations thrive when people are stressed about money. Stress makes you impulsive. It makes you take out loans you can't afford. It makes you chase get-rich-quick schemes because you're desperate for a way out. But when you're in theta, you're calm, you're clear-headed. You make financial decisions based on wisdom, not desperation. You save, you invest, you build wealth effortlessly. And that's bad for business if you're on the other side of the transaction. The same goes for the wellness industry. Companies sell you supplements, courses, and retreats to manifest abundance. But they never address the root cause: a brain that's stuck in scarcity mode. They want you to keep coming back, keep spending money, keep chasing the next quick fix. But sound healing, that's a one-time investment that gives you lifelong benefits. It's a tool of liberation, not consumption. Let's also talk about the emotional toll of living in a shrunken hippocampus state. Chronic stress doesn't just affect your cognition, it affects your emotions. When your hippocampus is compromised, you're more prone to anxiety and depression. You might find yourself snapping at loved ones over minor inconveniences, or withdrawing from social interactions. Altogether, you might feel like you're drowning in a sea of overwhelm, unable to see a way out. Sound healing can help with that. The frequencies don't just regrow your hippocampus, they regulate your nervous system. They shift you out of the fight or flight response and into the rest and digest state. They lower your cortisol levels, reduce inflammation, and promote a sense of inner peace. In other words, they don't just fix your brain, they heal your soul. Take the example of Mark, a former client who came to me after years of struggling with anxiety. Mark had tried therapy, medication, meditation, you name it, but nothing seemed to stick. He'd have moments of relief, but the anxiety always came back. Then he started using the sound ritual. Within weeks, he noticed a difference. He wasn't just less anxious, he was more present. He started noticing the small joys in life, the warmth of the sun on his face, the laughter of his children, the taste of his morning coffee. He realized he'd been so caught up in his own head that he'd missed out on the beauty of everyday life. Mark's story is a reminder that healing isn't just about fixing what's broken, it's about rediscovering what it means to live. But what about the skeptic who says this all sounds too good to be true? Where's the proof? The proof is in the science. Studies have shown that binaural beats can reduce anxiety, improve focus, and even enhance cognitive function. Research on the solfeggio frequencies has demonstrated their ability to lower stress and promote healing and neurogenesis. The growth of new neurons has been linked to improved memory, mood, and overall brain health. These aren't just anecdotes, they are facts. The difference between belief and skepticism is simply a matter of perspective. If you choose to believe that your brain is capable of healing, that your hippocampus can regrow, that abundance is your natural state, then you're already halfway there. The other half is taking action. So how do you get started? It's simple. Find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Put on a pair of headphones, preferably over-ear, as they provide better sound isolation. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, then press play for the next 7 minutes. Let the frequencies wash over you. Don't try to force anything. Don't analyze the experience. Just listen. Let the sound do its work. When the 7 minutes are up, take another deep breath and slowly open your eyes. Notice how you feel. You might not notice a dramatic shift right away, and that's okay. Healing is a process, not an event, but over time, you'll start to see changes. The numbers will stop appearing as frequently, the stress will feel lighter, the opportunities will start flowing in, and you'll realize that the universe wasn't sending you messages. It was trying to wake you up. the 7-minute sound ritual isn't a magic bullet. It's not a quick fix. It's a tool that, when used consistently, can transform your life. But like any tool, it only works if you use it. The sound wave is waiting for you at the link. It's not a trick. It's not a scam. It's a key to unlock the door you've been knocking on for years. Your hippocampus is waiting to regrow. Your brain is waiting to shift. The universe is waiting to whisper its secrets directly into your soul. All you have to do is press play. And what happens when you do? You reclaim your power. You step out of the cycle of stress and scarcity. You step into the flow of abundance. You remember what it means to live not as a victim of circumstance, but as a creator of your reality. The numbers that once haunted you become a distant memory. The synchronicities that once felt like mysteries become guides. The life you've been dreaming of becomes your new normal. But here's the most important part. This isn't just about you. When you heal your hippocampus, you don't just change your life, you change the world. Because a person who's in flow, who's operating from abundance, who's making decisions based on trust and intuition, is a person who creates value. They start businesses. They inspire others. They break free from the systems that were designed to keep them small. They become a force for good. And that's a ripple effect that can't be quantified. So do it. Now click the link in the description. Start your journey back to your true self. Start your journey back to abundance, not because you need another trick or another hack, but because your brain is ready to remember what it means to flow. Your hippocampus is ready to regrow, and the universe is ready to speak to you in a language you've forgotten how to hear. But you have to take the first step. The sound. Is there the science? Is there the solution? Is there all that's missing? Is you? So click download, press play, and let the healing begin, because you deserve this ease. You deserve this peace. You deserve to live in the flow of abundance. The numbers won't haunt you anymore, because you'll finally be hearing what the universe has been trying to tell you all along. And the life you've been waiting for, it's not out there. It's inside you, waiting to be unlocked.